Hello and welcome to Quartic. This is episode 6 in our series, CFA Level I, 10 Topics in 10 Weeks. The topic for this week, topic number 6, is equity. Now, equity accounts for 11% of the exam and overall is important but not too tricky. Essentially, what you see is what you get. So as long as you know the content well, there should be no big surprises in the exam. The first reading is Market Organization and Structure. Overall, a very wordy reading, lots of detail and lots to memorize. The reading starts off by looking at the uses and functions of the financial system. Learn each as a separate list, as you can be asked which of the following is a use or which of the following is a function of the financial system. You should know how markets work, who uses them, so that is the various participants and intermediaries. Learn what services these markets provide and what makes them function well. And be prepared again for very detailed questions. Know how long and short positions work. For short positions, understand both the motive and the mechanics. And also know how primary and secondary markets interact. For secondary markets in particular, understand the distinction between quote-driven and order-driven markets and the different types of orders. So things like limit orders, market orders, iceberg orders, etc. Security market indexes is the next reading. Now, security market indexes are designed to represent the performance of an investment market, and they can be price return, which means they're capturing price movement only, or they can be total return, which means they're capturing price as well as the reinvestment of income. You should know the basics of how these indexes are constructed, and in particular the weighting methods used. Know how to calculate a price-weighted, equal-weighted and market cap-weighted index. Learn the differences between these and the issues relating to each type. For example, things like the effect that stock splits can have on the weightings and also rebalancing issues. This reading also has a very tiny section on fixed income indexes and indexes for alternative investments. So please ensure that you know the detail in that section. Next, we have market efficiency. Now, this is a relatively short reading, which starts by considering the notion of market efficiency. In an efficient market, prices reflect information. Now, how quickly that information finds its way into the price leads to different degrees or forms of market efficiency. So know the efficient market hypothesis and the 3 forms of market efficiency: weak, semi-strong, and strong. The reading also covers a number of market pricing anomalies. So know the time series, cross-sectional, and other anomalies. Be able to identify which form of the efficient market hypothesis each of these pricing anomalies contradicts. And the reading ends with a section on behavioral finance. Learn the definitions of the biases presented here. The next reading is Overview of Equity Securities. Again, lots of definitions here, but nothing difficult. The reading looks at the characteristics of common stock and preferred stock. Know the differences between the two, in particular, the priority of cash flows, voting rights. Also understand other features of shares, such as when they are redeemable, puttable, cumulative, participating, or even convertible. For non-domestic investing, be aware of GDRs, Global Depository Receipts, also ADRs, American Depository Receipts, and the 4 categories of ADRs presented in the reading. Next, we have industry and company analysis. This reading introduces the idea that before analyzing a company, it's first necessary to understand factors relating to the company's industry. So you should know the very basic features of the commercial and government industry classification systems presented in the reading. Be able to describe how to identify a peer group appropriate for a particular company. Know Porter's 5 forces, the 5 stages of the industry life cycle, and also be able to identify external influences on an industry. So macroeconomic factors, technological factors, governmental, social, demographic factors, etc. And the last reading is Equity Valuation. Finally, some numbers. This reading looks at calculating the fair or intrinsic value of a share using present values, market-based, and asset-based valuation approaches. Spend enough time learning the calculations relevant to each approach and understand the purpose of each, and why they yield different results for the same company. So that is it for this week. Thank you very much for watching. For free access to Quartic Online, please get in touch by using the details on the screen. Also, follow us on Twitter @Quartic Training for access to more videos and useful resources.